Trade and Industrial Chamber of Russia has set up a coordination commission for economic cooperation with African countries, and it has proved itself well. This mechanism helps Russian entrepreneurs and exploring the markets of Africa. It helps businesses and implementing joint investment projects. Many Russian companies are working with different branches of the African economy, and they are willing to further expand their presence in Africa, and we most certainly are going to support these plans at the government level. Gazprom, Rosneft, Lukoil are fulfilling promising oil and gas projects in Africa. Alrosa is exploring diamond deposits. Yandex is present in a number of African markets. It helps African countries address issues related to information security and the development of digital economy. Rosatom is willing to present our African partners the possibility of setting up a nuclear industry on a turnkey basis, as it were. The construction of research centers based on multipurpose reactors. We are completing the establishment of the Russian industrial zone in Egypt. I refer to a big platform in the economic zone of the Suez Canal. Their companies from Russia will be able to localize their manufacturing capacities, and we'd like around 20 Russian companies to join this project. So far it's just 20, but in future I'm confident it is going to be more. Colleagues, Russia is providing assistance to the development of Africa on a systemic basis. We provide trade preferences, work together within the framework of international organizations such as the WFP and international civil defense organizations, WHO. Our country is also participating in the initiative to lighten the debt burden for African countries. So far, we have written off more than $20 billion of debt. We have special joint projects with a number of companies that... Thank you. A number of countries, and we have launched special programs that use the debt money for funding national projects of economic growth. We are also fostering a very successful cooperation in the fight against infectious diseases. In Guinea, Russia has set up a scientific center to... Yes, that's very good work, yes. It's very efficient, as it has turned out to be. Our country was one of the first responders to the Ebola epidemic, and we've allocated more than $60 million to fight this scourge, and the vaccine has turned out to be very efficient, one of the best in the world, the best, I believe. A traditional avenue of our cooperation is helping prepare and train specialists for the economy. By mid-1980s in Africa, our country had built around 100 educational institutions in Africa. 500,000 of Africans underwent vocational training at our industrial companies and agricultural organizations. Right now, around 17,000 African students are studying in Russia, and 4,000 of those have scholarships from the federal budget. Friends, colleagues, within this forum, we've planned a very tight business schedule. After our speeches, mine and President Sisi's, the participants of the plenary sessions will discuss concrete ideas and proposals with regard to the promising avenues of African-Russian cooperation. The heads of Russian companies, together with the Ministry of Economic Development of Russia, have prepared presentations of the key Russian competences that open up new opportunities for economic cooperation with Africa. It is important that this forum is also going to host a great number of specific sessions on oil and gas and nuclear, mineral resources, agriculture and high-tech. During these sessions, you'll have a chance to talk about concrete avenues of cooperation to reach agreements on mutually beneficial joint projects. I'm confident that the work of the forum is going to give a fillip to further development of the whole range of Russian trade and economic ties with African continents. And I'd like to wish the participants of the forum success and all the best. I'd like to thank you for finding an opportunity to come here to Russia. Thank you.
Thanks, President of the Arabic Republic of Egypt. The country that is presiding in the African unit, Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السيد الرئيس فلاديمير بوتين رئيس روسيا الاتحادية.
In the name of Allah Merciful, Mr. President, Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, heads of the African countries, good afternoon to you all. First of all, I would like to express gratitude to President Putin for hospitality and for perfect organization of the Economic Forum Russia-Africa. We highly appreciate the attention that is given in the Russian Federation to strengthening the cooperation between Russia and Africa, and we regard the forum as the platform to develop the relationship for the mutual investments and the cooperation between the two peoples. And the forum is meant to strengthen the relationship between the countries in compliance with Agenda 2063. And the aspiration of the people promote the work towards peace and security, economic development and cooperation. The peoples of the two countries urge us to make use of the positive experience of the international peace-liking community and Russia first of all, and we would like to emphasize how important this forum is, and its deliverables will be beneficial for the nations of Africa. Our countries undertake to develop infrastructure, regional integration, which is a priority of Africa, and we are committed to investment into human capacity, for this is one of the ingredients for economic growth of the continent, because the youth of Africa at the age group of up to 25 accounts for 65%, which is a huge potential at the labor market. We undertake efforts to empower women and increasing their role in the economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is embarking on the new phase of economic development linked to the new opportunities of the markets, the industrial potential, and the digitalization of Africa is on the increase, which is a result of the creative efforts of our nations and the policies of the states that encourage the aspirations of the people. I would like to emphasize that our country has done a lot by the way of economic and social reforms. We have undertaken efforts for the regional and continental integration. The latest achievement is the implementation of the All-African Agreement on Free Trade, which was signed in Niger in July 2019, which attracted the attention of the international community. Due to that, Africa welcomes the cooperation with the partners to make a leap in modernization of the continental industry and development of infrastructure, and basis of digitalization. I would like to call upon the private companies of Russia and other countries and international financial organizations to cooperate in investments in Africa. The time is ripe for that now. I would like to call upon the international financial organizations to take part in funding the efforts to promote the economic growth of Africa and to provide financial assurances for strengthening its economic capacity that might promote investment activity. And we pledge to provide optimum conditions for implementation of the development programs that will help Africa to embark on the way of progress and well-being and stable development. I would like to emphasize in conclusion that cooperation with African countries should be based on mutual interests and principles of protection of African property that would enable to ensure the sustainable development to meet three targets. One is acceleration of the economic transformation, creation of business-like atmosphere through partnership with the private sector. Second, social equity with participation of all society and the strengthening of peace and stability in compliance with Agenda 2063 and the SDG by 2030. In conclusion, I would like to express a hope that the forum will contribute to the development of cooperation between African countries and Russia in different areas in the years to come. Thanks to your attention, peace to you, mercy, and